job. A couple things that I saw that you guys should think about as we move on is, one, I saw a couple people that were inside. All right, they have the counter tie, inside tie here. This is going to be a tough place for you to snap the arm off. All right, so with our thumb lock, we want to have our hand on the outside. Inside, we would probably do different things. All right, we would pull it down, try to get double inside tie. We would just use different offense. If we're going to try and snap, then we would have to come off on the outside. That's going to make it easier for you guys. It'll feel more natural for you to put somebody underneath you from there. And then secondly, when we get our thumb lock, we don't want our head to be jammed into his shoulder. We want to have a little bit of space. So how I get space is I just use my collar tie and I use my thumb lock and I push back a little bit. All right, so I don't want my head to be ear to ear with my opponent. I want to have a little bit of space. Having a little bit of space always makes your snap more powerful. When you're close inside, it's just difficult for you to get your hand. It's difficult for you to get your hand down to his elbow and get a powerful snap. Whereas if you have a little space, it's easier for you to bring your arm down and snap hard. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to drive forward again. We're going to snap our opponent down. This time we're going to go behind him. Okay? So collar tie, thumb lock, drive forward, he holds ground, I snap, I put him underneath me. This will be the position, most likely, your opponent's going to be in. So partner, be a good partner, don't fall down to your knees, end up in this position. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to drop down. So I got my front headlock, chin, shoulder on top, this shoulder, bicep, and now I'm going to go down to my front knee. So I'm going to keep my back leg, up, and I'm going to drop down to my front knee. All right, this should bring it. I'm going to think about taking his head and bringing it to the mat, which should bring him to his knees. Right, so I'm here, and now I drop down to my front knee, and now he's on his knees. I'm on one knee, but my back leg is driving. All right, my back leg is driving because I want to try and keep as much pressure as I can on this guy's hands. Having pressure down on this guy's hands is going to make it harder for him to circle and face you. It's going to make it harder for him to get his chest up and run out of this go behind, because that's a lot of times where people lose it. You know, as they're running behind, this guy will face and circle back into you. So you want to keep pressure down on his hands. So we're in this position. We've broken him down. We went down to our front knee. Our back leg's driving. I still got his bicep. Next thing that I'm thinking about is taking this elbow and bringing it to the mat. As soon as this elbow touches the mat, that means it's time for me to spin behind. All right, you guys can do it slow because we're just working on it now, but know that when this elbow touches the mat, it's time for us to get an angle. It's time for us to start spinning behind our opponent. So I'm here, bicep. Now I take all my weight and I pressure it to the side over top of his elbow. Here. Okay? Once that elbow touches, I release my shoulder pressure, and I'm going to exchange shoulder pressure for chest pressure on his back. Alright, so my shoulder was on top of his shoulder blades. My shoulder with the front headlock on top of his shoulder blades. I'm going to release that pressure and put my chest on his back. So elbow goes down, release pressure, chest goes on his back. Alright, immediately start getting an angle. My hand goes from the chin to his neck, and my forearm stays on his head. Then I reach for the back of his ankle or his hamstring. I never reach for the waist. Reaching for the waist is going to get you in trouble. It's hard to keep pressure down if you reach for the waist. So I reach for the hamstring. And the moment I get his hamstring or his ankle, I change directions. So at first, I was running this way, right? I was running this way because I needed to get the angle. That's the way that we're going to try and spin. But once I get the angle and I'm on top of his back, now I change directions. I plant my foot outside here and I run it back forward towards his head. That's what's going to break him down flat and allow you to spin behind your opponent. So, collar tie, thumb lock, drive forward, he holds ground. I snap from underneath me. Good front headlock position. Down to my knee. Now, elbow goes to the mat. Release shoulder pressure for chest pressure. Keep my hand on top of his head. Reach to the back of his ankle. This is where people are going to try to start standing up and running out of this position. So that's why we change directions and we run them forward. Run them forward and through them. Alright, so I'm here, feet up to the ground. Now I change my direction. Run towards his head and spin behind. Any questions? You guys need to see it again? Here we go. Alright, let's give it a try. 1, 2.